Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and today we are making 3 different types of dinners. Last week I was attempting to do a week worth of dinners and a couple of the nights I actually forgot to film. So we're just winging it here. We're just going day by day, and if I forget to film, guess what? We're still here though. Okay, we're still showing up. So I don't know the name of this meal. That's beef stew meat, and I cut it up a little bit smaller so that it's easier to cook and it comes out way more tender. So I was kind of doing a pantry challenge this week, and I was kind of using whatever I had on hand. So if I didn't have it, I didn't use it. And I didn't want to go to the store and buy any food this week. So I was winging it. And so this meal and the meal that you will see after that pretty much has the same ingredients. So I guess we'll just kind of talk about whatever in a way on the middle part of this video, because it's the same thing. You guys will be hearing me say the same ingredients over again. As you can tell, I'm putting some salt and some pepper in there. You can season it with whatever you want to season it with. It's your choice. The longer you cook this meat, the better it is. I cooked it for, I would say, about an hour, and it comes out so tender, just falling apart. Very easy to chew, because if you know what beef stew comes out like, yeah, it can be tough if you don't cook it long enough. Some garlic powder, and I'm pretty sure I put onion powder in there as well. Some rosemary. Yeah, like I said, come on, food is so easy to make, and adding more seasonings can just make things better for you, unless you add something else to like curry or something that probably wouldn't taste good in this one, but that's another thing I need to make one day again. Some curry chicken, and then some parsley, and then I stirred it up. So here I'm just cooking it until it gets brown all around, and then I'm gonna add in some onions to start cooking in there. I don't with For some reason, I don't know why, but I like when I'm making hamburger meat or something, I usually throw the onion in there whenever everything's raw, but for some reason with beef stew meat, I don't know. I don't. I just feel like beef stew meat needs a lot more time than what onions would versus hamburger meat. But sorry, I know that may sound weird to you guys, but that's just how I am. I can't help it. So normally I would put a beef bouillon cube or some of the beef powder, but I didn't have that on hand. So I used chicken instead. I did it with the other recipe too when I would have normally used beef. I put a can of diced tomatoes and a can of tomato sauce. Um, let's see. Let's see what else we're doing here. I can't remember if no, it's in the other recipe. And then a little bit more garlic. I added more seasoning into it. As you can tell, I didn't drain the meat because I wanted all of that juice from the meat. I didn't want to get rid of all of that. Normally I would, but it wasn't very fatty looking or anything like, hamburger would. All right, and then a couple of scoops of sugar. I didn't put too much. That's like a little mini spoon. So that probably altogether maybe was a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half at the most. So it's not too bad. Like I said, cook it for as long as you can. The longer the better. And you can just put it on low. I mean, you can even transfer that into the crock pot if you wanted to, but I didn't see no point in doing that. And then I almost forgot to show the after shot. So this is me showing you as I already kind of halfway ate it. Alrighty, for this next one, it's going to be literally the same ingredients pretty much into a crock pot. That's Italian sausage. I personally am not big on Italian sausage. I do not care for it. I make this meal because everyone in my house absolutely loves it, and they love it for leftovers. So that is the reason why I'm making 2 containers of it, because they literally will take this to work. The guys will for days because they love it that much. But so yeah, with this one though, the only difference is that I definitely added a can of water because it definitely needs it. I didn't want it as strong as the other, and plus this is not going to have all the juice that the other one had. So when I tell you it's pretty much exactly the same recipe, it is. I hope you all have been doing well. I hope that everyone is doing good, and I hope that the people who have their kids going to school, that they're getting back into their routines and finding out what all they need to do in life, because summer really can take it out of you. It feels good to have the kids back, and I'm glad that all the kiddos are going back, and Danielle's excited and she's having a good old time, and she loves school, and she's excited to be walk. I let her do a little bit of walking this year, so that's good, instead of, just going always to the car rider, and I watch her go into the school, things like that, trying to give her a little bit more independence. Gosh, it's so hard, isn't it, whenever the little ones are growing up and they're getting older and they're like, yeah, I'll walk to school, let me ride my bike to school. I'm saying, no, you're not riding your bike to school. You are not doing that. We are not crossing that bridge anytime soon. You are only 10 years old. I don't live far from the school, but I couldn't, I mentally couldn't deal with her being out there and me not knowing if she got to school or not, because I don't know about in everyone's area, but I know in our area they're not even allowed to have cell phones at the school. Like, I don't know about in the bag or not. I didn't check because Danielle doesn't, take a phone or anything like that, but I don't know. I wouldn't be okay. I would constantly be worrying if she went to school or not, or if she got to school, So not if she went, I know she would go, but I don't know. My anxiety is too bad for that. How do you parents feel, honestly? If I had to, I'm pretty sure, of course, we have to, but in this case, I'll watch her walk to school. Not the whole way. I just right there at the stop sign by the school. And that's all that I can do, but she's happy to be doing that. So she's excited. Today was her first day of doing that, and you could tell she felt like such a big girl. I'm so proud of her. So here I saw that the sausage was done. I usually, if I am able to, I'll come in and I'll cut it all up and I'll put it back into the crock pot, and I will let it sit for another like 15 minutes or so, just so that all the juices can go in the inside of the sausage and really make it tasty. Like I said, I don't care for it because I don't like the taste of the sausage. Oh, and at the end I did put a little bit of cornstarch in there, watered down, of course, cornstarch. So then here I am making something called it's usually called chicken bacon spaghetti, and it's really, really, really good. One day I will make it on here and I'll show you guys how to make it, but it's literally pretty much exactly as you see in this video right now. And normally you would make it with thin spaghetti noodles or spaghetti noodles, whichever, linguine noodles, any kind of noodles that you want to use, honestly. But you will need to reserve 1 cup of the pasta water. So that is the water content that you'll see me put into the dish. But here I use tortellini because they happen to have them buy one, get one free. And like I said, I was using what I had on hand. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try it like that because it sounds pretty dang good. So I did, and it was a hit. Joseph was like, from now on, you need to make it with this because that was even better, So I will start making it like that. Only, honestly, probably only whenever the tortellini is buy one, get one free at Publix or anywhere else, because tortellini can be on the pricier side. But it tastes really good with it. I'm not gonna lie. So here I usually make it with half of a pack of bacon. So I usually use maple bacon and cut it up, and then of course you fry it up until it's nice and crispy, and then you use half of the bacon grease. You don't have to use the bacon grease, but it is better with it because it gives it even more bacon flavor in the sauce. 1 can of undrained petite diced tomatoes. That's what I prefer. And then you're going to add in your cup of pasta water. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to add minced garlic. And then after your minced garlic, you're going to add in your water and it's 1 cup of pasta water. And then it is 1 cup. Yeah, I've been putting 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And then I added salt and pepper to taste. Probably some more onion powder and garlic powder. It changes when I make it though, honestly, because like if I'm feeling more cheese, then I'm gonna put extra cheese, like Parmesan cheese is what I'm talking about. And like sometimes I'll add like 3/4 cup of water, like of the pasta water, or I'll add, like, so I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't even remember what the original recipe even calls for because I do it like this. And then also, you can add spinach to this. It is really good if you add that. All you have to do is when you add in your diced tomatoes, during that part, you add in fresh, not the frozen kind, use fresh baby spinach and put it in there and let that cook down into the sauce first, and then add your pasta water and your heavy whipping cream. I didn't have that on hand, so of course I'm not going to add that when I'm doing a pantry challenge kind of thing. But here I'm stirring in the Parmesan cheese. You want to let that melt. Add as much as you like. If you like a lot, add a lot. If you don't, then don't, But then you add in, of course, your chicken back. You add your bacon, and then you're going to add in your pasta. And then you mix it all together, and then you let it sit, and you let it absorb all of the juices, let it get thicker. Now, when you make it with the tortellini, I've noticed that it doesn't get as thick as it does when you use regular pasta. And I think it's just because a lot of starch does not come out of the tortellini to produce, like to make it get thicker. So you guys should give it a try. It tastes so good. Oh my gosh. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. And I hope you guys consider subscribing. And I'll possibly having a cleaning video coming up next. I hope you guys